Hello students, welcome to Maths Tutor Lakshya channel. Here we are with another topic of chapter 1 of some basic concepts of chemistry. Today we have the topic percentage composition and molecular formula. What is percentage composition and what is molecular formula we will going to study in this topic. Look, the composition is generally expressed as mass percentage composition. Generally, in chemistry, we used to express the mass in terms of mass percentage composition in mass percentage. So, what is basically the mass percentage? Mass percentage, it gives the mass of each element expressed as the percentage of the total mass. It means we are comparing each element with the total composition. So, let us take one example, one numerical so that you can understand the concept. In this question, calculate mass percentage composition of copper pyrite. What is copper pyrite? CuFeS2, copper pyrite. Look, in this we have copper, iron, Fe and sulfur. Copper, iron, sulfur. We have three elements in one compound copper pyrite. So we will calculate mass percentage of each element in terms of percentage. So first of all we should know the atomic masses of each element. Copper is 63.5 U, for iron it is 56 U and for sulfur is 32. So calculate here the total molecular mass of the compound 63.5 plus 56 for iron plus 32 into 2. This come out to be 183.5 U. So this is the formula. For percentage composition of copper, we will take the mass of copper upon the total mass of the compound into 100 for percentage. So here copper is 63.5 and total is 183.5. So 63.5 upon 183.5 into 100. It comes out to be 34.63 percentage. Similarly for iron, percentage of iron is calculated as 56 for iron upon total, that is 183.5 into 100, that comes out to be 30.51%. And for sulfur, we can calculate similarly like 32 upon 183.5 into 100, but there is no need to calculate by formula because there are three elements in the compound. So we will calculate the mass of sulfur by 100 minus the other percentage of other two components. Percent of copper plus percent of Fe. This comes out to be 100 minus 34.63 plus 30.51. This comes out to finally 34.86. You can calculate the total of three elements 34.63, 30.51 and 34.86. It comes out to be 100%. That verifies our answer. Now, next question. Calculate the mass percent of different elements in sodium sulfate, that is Na2SO4. In Na is 23U, S is 32, you know that, oxygen is O16. Calculating the molecular mass, this is Na2SO4, 2 into 23 plus 32 plus 16 into 4 comes out to 142 U. For percent of Na, the mass of Na is 2 into 23, not 23, because in the compound Na is 2 mole. So we will multiply 23 into 2. So remember this thing, 2 into 23 divided by 142 into 100 comes out to be 32.39. For sulfur, 32 upon 142 total into 100 comes out to be 22.53%. For oxygen, we will do the similar thing in as we have done in the previous question, 100 minus percentage of other two components, percent of Na plus percent of S. So 100 minus 32.39 plus 22.53, that comes out to be 45.07. Again, you can check the answer by adding 32.39, 22.53 and 45.07, that comes out to a total 100%. So these are the two questions based on percentage composition, mass percentage. Now comes next topic, empirical formula and molecular formula. There are two formulas. First is empirical formula and molecular formula. The chemical formula may be of two types. Number one, empirical formula. Number two, molecular formula. Empirical formula. It is the formula which gives simple whole number ratio of atoms of various elements present in one molecule of compound. So it is the simple whole number ratio. look, simple whole number ratio. On the other hand, molecular formula, it is the formula which gives the actual number of atoms. It gives actual number of atoms of various elements present in one molecule of compound. We are comparing both the formula in one molecule of compound. First one, empirical formula is simple whole number ratio, and molecular formula is the actual number of atoms. So this is the formula for molecular formula, and this is a relation between molecular formula and empirical formula. Molecular formula equal to n into empirical formula. It means empirical formula and molecular formula differ by this factor. This is n factor. What is n factor? Molecular formula upon empirical formula. We divide the molecular formula mass divided by empirical formula mass, and we get this n factor. This n factor differentiates both the formula, molecular formula and empirical formula. Let us check this both the formula by example. First is C6H6. What is C6H6? It is benzene, the formula of benzene. So in benzene empirical formula, we can say this is molecular formula. C6H6 is the molecular formula of benzene. C6H6 is the molecular formula. So in empirical formula, this is n factors. H6 and C6. 6 is the n factor. By dividing by 6, we get the simple formula CH. CH is the empirical formula. In similar case of C6H12O6, it is glucose. The molecular formula is C6H12O6. The common factor is 6. So by dividing each by 6, we get CH2O. This is the simple formula, which is empirical formula. Now coming to a question, how we determine the molecular formula and empirical formula in the questions. The molecular mass of an organic compound is 78 and its percentage composition is 92.4% carbon, 7.6% hydrogen. Determine molecular formula of compound. So in this type of questions, empirical formula and molecular formula, we draw a table in which we have element, percentage, atomic mass, number of moles, mole ratio and simplest ratio. You will always draw this type of table. So in element, this is C, this is H. We have two elements only in the question. Percentage is 92.4, for hydrogen 7.6. Now atomic mass, for carbon is 12, hydrogen is 1. Now moles. What is the formula of moles? Mass upon molar mass. So mass is 92.4. We take the percentage as mass in the question divided by molecular mass or atomic mass. This is 12. Comes out to be 7.7. For hydrogen 7.6 upon 1, 7.6. Now the mole ratio. We divide this number of moles by the smallest value. So this is the smallest value. So we divide both by 7.6. 7.7 upon 7.6. 7.6 divided by 7.6. It comes out to be 1.01. It comes out to be 1. So the simple is 1, 1. So formula comes out to be CH. Now we will calculate n factor. First of all, we have calculated empirical formula, but we have to determine the molecular formula of compound. So we will calculate n factor. N equal to molecular mass divided by empirical mass. Molecular mass is 78 upon 13. After calculating, we got it 6. Now molecular formula equal to n into empirical formula. This is n factor. So this comes out to be C6H6 finally. So this is how we calculate the first empirical formula, and then n factor, and then molecular formula. So the importance of n factor is very much in these type of questions, and it all depends on the table you made. Now next question is, an organic compound on analysis gave the following percentage composition. C equal to carbon 57.8%, hydrogen is 3.6%, and the rest is oxygen. The vapor density of compound was found to be 83. Find out molecular formula of compound. Here we draw again same table: element, percentage, atomic mass, number of moles, mole ratio and simplest ratio. We have the element CHO. C is 57.8, H is 3.6, O is 38.6. Here the atomic mass is 12, 1, 16. Now number of moles, mass upon molar mass. We will take the percentage as mass. This is atomic mass. Mass upon molar mass, this is 57.8 upon 12, 4.81, similarly 3.6 and 2.41. Now, which is the smallest value? This is the smallest value. We will divide each by 2.41. This is 2, this is 1.5, this is 1. It comes out to be different values. And to make the simplest ratio, we will double the values. This is 4, this is 1.5 to 3, this is 1 to 2. Now the empirical formula is C4H3O2. Now N factor, this is molecular mass upon empirical formula mass. Here we have used another formula. Molecular mass equal to 2 into vapor density. Remember this formula. So 2 into vapor density, because in the question we have been given vapor density 8.3. So this is 2 into 83, sorry, mistakenly, 2 into 83 divided by 83, that comes out to be 2. Molecular formula is N factor into empirical formula. So N is 2 and empirical formula is C4H3O2. It comes out to be C8H6O4. So this is the final molecular formula of the compound. In this question, this question is different from the previous one, because in this question we have used a different formula. Molecular mass equal to 2 into Vd, that is vapor density. Remember this formula. It is very useful in many questions of chemistry. Now comes again next question. 4 gram of copper chloride on analysis was found to contain 1.890 gram copper and 2.110 gram chlorine. What is the empirical formula of copper chloride? So, in this question, we have been given masses of copper and chlorine. We have been not given percentages. So, in this question, we will use our first technique, the mass percentage technique, to calculate the percentages. So, percentage of copper equal to mass of copper upon total mass of compound. This is 1.890 divided by 4 into 100. 4 comes out from adding this 1.890 and 2.110. 1.890 plus 2.110. This is the total mass of compound. So this is 47.3, and for chlorine 100 minus percent of copper 52.7. Now again we will make the same table. Element, percent, atomic mass, number of moles, mole ratio, simplest ratio. Element are copper, chlorine. This is 47.3. This is chlorine 52.7. Masses, atomic masses 63.5, 35.5. Number of moles, mass upon molar mass. This is mass, this is molar mass. On dividing we get 0.74 and 1.48. In this, this is smallest value. On dividing, this comes out to be 1, this comes out to be 2. So formula is CuCl2. This is the empirical formula, copper chloride, CuCl2. Now comes another question. A compound contains 4.07% hydrogen, 24.27% carbon and 71.65% chlorine. Its molecular mass is 98.6. What are its empirical and molecular formula? So this question is reversible. In the previous questions we are calculating the molecular mass, but in this question we have to calculate molecular formula using the molecular mass. So in this question we have been given the percentages, so no need to calculate the percentages in like the previous question. So writing the same table, element, percent, atomic mass, number of moles, mole ratio and simplest ratio. CHCl, this is 24.27, this is 4.07, this is 71.65. For atomic masses, this is 12, 1, 35.5. On dividing, this is mass, this is molar mass. We get the moles 2.02, 4.07 and again 2.02. Now on dividing, this is the smallest value. We got the mole ratio 1 to 1 and the molecular formula is CH2Cl. Now calculating N factor, molecular mass upon empirical mass. This is 98.6 in the question, given in the question, and empirical formula mass we will calculate with this 12 plus 2 into 1 plus 35.5. This comes out to be 98.96 divided by 49.5 and the final is 2. Then molecular formula is N into empirical formula. So we have calculated N, this is 2. So CH2Cl2 into 2, this is C2H4Cl2. This is the molecular formula. Now comes determine the empirical formula of an oxide of iron which has 69.9% iron and 30.1% oxygen by mass. So we have again the percentages and we have to determine the empirical formula like the previous question. We will do the same thing that we are doing in the previous questions. Element, atomic mass, percent, moles, mole ratio and the simplest ratio. Fe and O. We have two elements. Oxide of iron is there, so iron and oxygen. Iron is 56, oxygen is 16. Percentage is given 69.9 and 30.1. 69.9% and 30.1. This comes out to be, this is mass. So this is the percent mass and this is atomic mass. On dividing we get the moles 1.25, 1.88. Again the simple is or we can say small number is 1.25. 1.25 divided by 1.25 comes 1. This is 1.5. On for the simplest ratio we will double the values 2 and 3. The formula comes out to be Fe2O3. This is the empirical formula and might be the same molecular formula. So these are all about empirical formula. Now comes stoichiometric calculations. In this stoichiometric calculation, we have four type of relationships: mole to mole relationships, mass mass relationships, mass volume relationships, and volume volume relationships. So we will do the stoichiometric calculations one by one based on these relationships. First is mole mole relationships. In this we have to deal with mole and mole only. Question is, look, how many moles of nitrogen are needed to produce 8.2 moles of ammonia by reaction with hydrogen? So we have to calculate the moles of nitrogen. So first of all we will write the equation. Nitrogen is reacting with hydrogen to form ammonia. This is N2 plus H2 giving NH3. On balancing 3, this is 2, we get the equation. So what we have given? 8.2 moles. Right there, 8.2 moles. We have to calculate N2. We don't have to look for hydrogen. So look, this is question mark, this is 8.2. So first of all, forget the 8.2. Only look this equation. In this equation, look what we have now. This is 1 mole, this is 3 mole, this is 2 mole. So 1 mole, we have to ignore hydrogen because we are dealing with two only, nitrogen and nitrogen and ammonia. So look, in this we have to notice nitrogen and ammonia. So in this 1 mole is giving 2 mole ammonia. So write this. We have to calculate nitrogen. So I have told you in previous lecture that what we have to calculate should be in the RHS. So we will reverse it. So we will write first this and then this. This should be in RHS and this is in LHS. We have to calculate this because so what we have now, this is 2 mole giving 1 mole. So 2 mole gives 1 mole N2. 2 moles produced by 1 mole N2. Now using the unitary method, 2 mole give 1 mole. So 1 mole give 1 upon 2 and in question 8.2. 8.2 gives 1 upon 2 into 8.2. This comes out to be 4.1 mole. So we have to notice the quotient. First of all, according to the balanced chemical equation, we will write the first statement. This is the very important and very confirmatory to the answer that we have to calculate. So write the first statement very clearly. Coming to next question. How many moles of iron can be made from Fe2O3 by the use of 16 mole of carbon monoxide in the following reaction? Equation is Fe2O3 plus 3CO giving 2Fe plus 3CO2. So we have to calculate moles of iron. So this should be in RHS. We have decided this should be in RHS side. Now we have been given carbon monoxide. So we have two things, carbon monoxide and this is iron. From the standard equation, this is 3 mole, this is 2 mole. So 3 mole giving 2 mole. So 1 mole giving 2 upon 3. Now 16 mole will give 2 upon 3 into 16. That comes out to be 10.6 mole Fe. So following this technique of a unitary method, you can calculate the answer as much so easy. Now, second, mass or mole mass relationship. We have the question. Calculate the amount of water in gram produced by combustion of 16 gram methane. So, in this we have water and we have methane. So, first of all, we will write the combustion of methane. This is the methane. Combustion means reaction with oxygen. CH4 plus O2 gives CO2 plus H2O. Obviously, any carbon compound burning with oxygen gives CO2 plus H2O. This is the obvious product of any reaction of carbon, unless it contains an other element uh, other than carbon and hydrogen. So, after balancing this equation, 2 and this is 2. So after balancing the reaction, here we have to deal with methane and water. So this is water, this is methane, ignoring other compounds or elements. So this is 1 mole in question, this is 2 mole. We have to calculate water, so this should be in RHS. So from question, 1 mole gives 2 mole. 1 mole is giving 2 mole. We can say 16 gram. This is the molecular mass of 1 mole of methane. 16 gram gives 2 into 18 gram. So basically we have to calculate for 1 mole. This is given 16 gram. So this is 2 mole, 2 into 18, this is 36 gram. So 1 mole giving 2 mole, this means 16 gram giving 2 into 18, that is 36 gram. This is simple unitary method. Now comes next question. How many moles of methane are required to produce 22 gram of CO2 after combustion? So first of all, methane combustion. CH4 plus O2 giving CO2 plus H2O on balancing. This is 2, this is 2. We have to deal with CO2 and methane. This is methane, this is CO2. Here it is given 22 gram. So from the balanced equation, we are watching that this is 1 mole, this is 1 mole. So 1 mole is giving 1 mole. So 1 mole CO2. We have to calculate the mole of methane. So methane should be in RHS. So here 1 mole of CO2 is giving 1 mole CH4. 1 mole means 44 gram. So 44 gram is giving 16 gram and we have to calculate for 22 gram. So 44 gram is 16 gram. So 1 gram is giving 16 gram. So 22 gram is giving, sorry, 16 upon 44. 16 upon 44 into 22. Look, 16 upon 44 into 22, that comes out to be 8 gram. Now we have to calculate the number of moles. So we have mass and this is the molecular mass 16. Then mole comes out to be 0.5 mole. This is number of moles. Formula is mass upon molar mass. Molar mass can be atomic mass or molecular mass based on the question. Now comes the next question. What mass of calcium oxide will be obtained by heating 3 mole of CaCO3? This is calcium carbonate marble. So on heating calcium carbonate, what we got? CaO, calcium oxide plus CO2. In this question, we have to focus only on calcium oxide and this is CaCO3 3 mole. So in this question, this and this. From the question, we have known that this is 1 mole giving 1 mole. We have to calculate calcium oxide. So it is already in RHS. So RHS 1 mole giving 1 mole. So 3 mole will give 3 mole. But we have to calculate the mass. So we will multiply it by molecular mass of CaO. This is CaO 40 plus 16. So this comes out to be 168 gram. So 1 mole is giving 1 mole, 3 mole is giving 3 mole. For 3 mole, we will multiply by the molecular mass and we will get the mass. So mass is moles into molecular mass. Now third relationship is mass volume relationship. In this question, look, Calculate the amount of KClO3 needed to supply sufficient oxygen for burning 112 liter of CO gas at NTP. NTP is normal temperature and pressure. First of all, write the question. Burning means oxygen reaction with oxygen. CO plus O2 giving CO2. In this question, on balancing, we have done CO 1 mole. We can write also in the form of multiplying 2 here and 2 here. It's okay, we can write this way also. CO equal to half O2, because in this we have to complete the number of oxygen. Here is O, this is O2O, single O, this means 2O on the RHS side. So balancing the equation this. So we have to calculate the amount of KClO3 needed to supply sufficient oxygen for burning this. So in this question we will deal with two reactions. First of all, we have to calculate the amount of KClO3. So we will look what will happen when KClO3 is heated. It gives KCl and O2. This oxygen will burn carbon monoxide to give CO2. So first of all, we will solve this question. In this question, this reaction. After balancing, this is 2 and this is 2 and 3. This balanced, we have to calculate amount of KClO3. In both the reaction, we have common link oxygen. Here is the oxygen, here is the oxygen. If we calculate the oxygen, we can calculate from this equation. If we calculate the oxygen, we will calculate from this KClO3. So first of all, we will calculate oxygen. In this question, this is 1 mole, this is 0.5 mole, this is 1 mole. So 1 mole require 0.5 mole. So 1 mole react with 0.5 mole. This is 1 mole react with 0.5 mole. So 22.4 liter, that is 1 mole. 1 mole equal to 22.4 liter. So 1 mole react with 0.5 mole means 22.4 react with 0.5. So 1 liter react with 0.5 upon 22.4. And from the question, 112 liter of carbon monoxide. This will react with 2.5 mole of oxygen. So from this oxygen, this value of oxygen that we have got from 112 liter, we will calculate KClO3. Now from this question, this is 2 mole and this is 3 mole. We know that 2 mole gives 3 mole. We have to calculate KClO3. So in this question, KClO3 will be in the RHS side. So from there, 3 mole giving requiring 2 mole. So 3 mole requiring 2 mole, 1 mole requiring 2 upon 3, and this 2.5 will require KClO3 1.67 mole KClO3 for gram. Similar in the previous question, we will multiply by molecular mass to get the mass. Moles into molecular mass, we will get the mass. This formula we are using here. So 204.5 gram. This 122.5 comes here from here. K is 39, Cl is 35.5 and oxygen is 16. The 122.5 gram. So it comes out to be 204.5 gram. This question is very important because in this question we have used the volume to find the mass volume relationship. In the question we have nothing given, only 112 liter of carbon monoxide. So we have first burning of CO, last statement, the burning of CO. We have used this statement and this equation and find out the oxygen, because in these two reactions the link is oxygen. So from first equation we have calculated oxygen and then we have calculated from oxygen this KClO3 amount. So this is the type and technique of the question. Now comes another question. What volume of air at NTP containing 21% of oxygen by volume is required to completely burn 1000 gram, that is 1 kg of sulfur containing 4% incombustible matter? Means we have to calculate the amount of air, volume of air at NTP when we have given 21% oxygen and 1000 gram sulfur containing 4% that is not usable in combustible matter. So for the burning of sulfur, we have S plus O2, SO2. Here sulfur is 1000 gram, but the useful sulfur that will get combustible, that will get undergo combustion, 1000 minus 4% of 1000, that comes out to be 960 gram. That is the combustible matter. This is combustible sulfur from 1000 gram. Now comes the equation S plus O2 is SO2. This is 960 gram. We have to calculate the volume of air. So this is oxygen. 1 mole sulfur give 1 mole, 1 mole sulfur require 1 mole oxygen gas. Now 32 gram require 22.4 liter because we are dealing with mass volume. Now 1 gram 22.4 upon 32 liter. Now 960 gram gives 672 liter of air. Now volume of air, this is the volume of oxygen. Volume of air, we will divide it by 21, that is the percentage of oxygen in air. 672 divided by 21 and into 100 for percentage, and 3200 liter is the final volume of air. You should know in this question that percent of oxygen in air is 21%. We have used this fact there. If you don't know this fact, you can't calculate the volume of air. So this way we have sorted this question by making the sulfur amount 960. Then from the equation we have calculated oxygen, and by using this fact of oxygen we have calculated the volume of air. Now comes the fourth relationship, volume relationship. So here is the question, calculate the volume of oxygen at NTP that would be required to convert 5.2 liter of carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide. So first of all we will write the equation CO plus O2 gives CO2. To balance we will multiply it by half. You can also do this by adding here 2 and here 2. So in the question we have to calculate the volume of oxygen, and we have been given the amount of carbon monoxide. So we have to deal with CO and O2. So this CO, 1 mole is giving 0.5 mole. This is 1 mole and this is 0.5 mole. So 1 mole require 0.5 mole O2. 1 mole means 22.4 liter require 0.5 into 22.4 liter oxygen. We will convert mole into volume by multiplying by 22.4. That means 1 mole equal to 22.4 liter. So 22.4 liter gives this, so 1 liter gives this, and in the question we have to calculate for 5.2 liter. So for 0.2 liter give 2.6 liter of oxygen. So this is the question for volume relationship. So here we conclude this lecture. We have discussed so many questions on mole concept in today's lecture. So practice these questions again and again to know the topics and how to solve these questions. If you like this video, please share, like and subscribe Maths Tutor Lakshya Ji channel. Stay connected for the next chapters. Thank you.